Bitch!
Oh, Jesus, God.
Welcome to the Unimaginary Friendcast. This is a live stream comedy show. We are on our 313th episode. Welcome. We are your best friends.
I am Nathan Von Edmondson.
I don't know why we keep introducing ourselves. Don't they know they're best friends?
Well, this is for our new listeners. I am Nathan Von Edmondson.
I'm your new best friend, new listeners. Erin Marie Betty Davis Jr.
Von Edmondson.
Thank you.
Von Edmondson.
And I'm DavidMonster.com.
And today is our fourth installment on a potentially ongoing series or not called Piece of Shit or The Shit. Excuse me. I am a little phlegmy tonight. And this series is takes a look at some of the most influential people of all time and goes through all the pros and cons. We do extensive research and we try to figure out if this person is in fact the shit or a piece of shit. And we've had so far Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, Tom Cruise. So this is our fourth one. And tonight we are doing
Walt Disney.
Walt Disney.
We're doing Walt Disney.
Walt Disney.
We are. Very exciting.
Deal with lesbians. Okay, yeah, that's our show.
Cool. Nathan was reading. If you're live stream watching,
yeah,
I'm reading the scroll at the bottom. David
our Chiron, what's it called? Chiron script. What is it?
I'll read it. Episode 313. Walt Disney was a piece of shit or the shit. And what's the deal with lesbians? So I guess that's usually what I think about when I think of Walt Disney. What's the deal with lesbians?
I don't agree, but moving on. We had it's been a little over 2 weeks since we last live streamed. So what's been going on? Anybody want to go first?
Oh, is this breaking news?
This is breaking news.
Breaking news. Oh,
I think we should go with our collective
news.
We
actually have collective news. Is that okay to give together?
Yeah.
Oh, you'd have collective news?
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Which is what?
Is that when
there you go.
We're going to eat this homemade chocolate chip cake live on the air.
Where did you get it?
We're just doing this to make David envious.
We made it.
I'm a little envious.
Made it fresh yesterday. With chocolate ice.
Although I sprained my spleen, so.
You what? You what?
We'll talk about it during my news. So that's your news, Nathan? Chocolate chip.
No, we're just joking. It's fake news.
I do want to point out that
hashtag fake news.
The child, Velour, Von Edmondson, Sammy Davis Jr. Had some of this, and then every day since has just been asking for cake. And today said, "I love cake."
That's how it happens.
Wait, here's gonna be my doting mom. I'm gonna quote my kid moment. We went in she woke up from her nap, came in, she's in her crib, and I said, "Hey, are you ready to have lunch?" And she goes, "Pizza, yum yum yum." And then I turned to Nathan. I was like, "This is your kid." And I said, "No, we're actually gonna have tacos." And she went, "Pizza." And I said, "No, tacos." And she said, "Pizza." And then we went back and forth for several minutes.
Yeah.
Tacos are just as good as pizza, though, aren't they?
I don't know.
They're
not according to this young one.
This isn't my news, but this weekend I had a taco pizza.
How was it?
Tell me about that.
It was good.
Was it homemade or was it from a place?
From a pizza place. Pizza. It was good. It was really good. They could have had more cheese, but it was good.
So the sauce was like a taco sauce, I guess?
Yeah, like with the meat and tomatoes. It was good. I would have made it more like avocado-y and guacamole-y and sour creamy, but it was really good. It was good. I think the reason why a lot of people don't do it is because you have to put most of those on after you pull it out. But hey,
that's a good point. Yeah, good point.
It's just like making nachos.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just on a pizza crust. So no marinara. So.
Ooh, no.
Yeah.
There was like a salsa sauce, but it was more tomatoey. It was good. I recommend it.
No, it sounds good.
I even put chocolate chips in the yellow cake.
I'm having this
Ooh.
memory that we used to have Mexican pizza in the cafeteria in either high school or middle
Really?
school. But I don't know if that's true.
That's so evolved of your school.
Well, I don't know if it's true. Like it sounds like I'm picturing a taco pizza, and
where did I have? We had taco boats.
Taco boats. Oh, okay. Well, should we get to?
Oh, that sounds good.
Get to my real news.
But yeah, he has.
Okay.
Oh,
I had my birthday.
Happy belated
birthday!
Thank you. We went and saw a movie. We spent a whole bunch of money getting a babysitter.
Oh, yeah.
And a whole bunch of money going to the theater. We saw Avatar 2.
You paid to see that?
I knew you were going to judge us for that.
Was it any good at all? I mean, it was beautiful. I'm sure it was beautiful. I'm sure the world they created was beautiful, right?
For your love of aesthetics, David, you would like it's really spectacular.
Yeah, I'm sure the first one was too. But but did they spend more than 12 cents on a script?
Maybe 13.
Yeah, it was kind of the same story as the first one.
Yeah.
But there were good moments. There were good moments.
That's what I figured, yeah.
Emotionally poignant and exciting, fun moments. They did introduce a lot of new characters, so that was actually refreshing to have other characters to follow and learn about as opposed to the originals. Although they were still featured, which you want. You know, you still want to see the people who were in the first one. But I enjoyed it. There were a few moments where I was like, okay, that was I'm really gonna forgive this moment.
I understand.
Hey, that's my news. I'm a year older.
I ate all my cake already.
That's your news?
No.
Oh,
your news.
That's your news.
Well, there was since we last saw each other, it was Valentine's Day. We went to the aquarium. A birthday party for my dad. Sort of.
Happy birthday.
But I guess my news is that the Eagles lost the Super Bowl.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have more to say on that? Because that kind of
really. It was really. I really thought they were going to win, and it was actually a really good game.
It was a really
Anybody
good game.
could have taken it up until pretty close to the end. Yes, but it was really disappointing, and I think there were some issues in the city. People not rioting, but just causing some trouble because they were upset.
I didn't follow that at all, but there was.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I think with any big event like that.
All right. I'm going to make this part of my news. I had other news, but I'm going to make this part of my news because I did something that is not hard to do, and people need to do it more often, and it's good for the world. It's good for your soul. I had no idea who won or lost the Super Bowl until you just said it just now, and I didn't have to avoid anything, but I had an inkling only because I didn't see people going nuts on any of my social media feeds. The Eagles fans, when they lose, they keep it quiet. We
just sat down quietly on the couch. And
did you cry at all?
No, I didn't.
Oh. Yeah, football sucks ass. You have to be a complete homosexual to get involved in it.
I cannot believe you hadn't heard. Do you not watch any news?
No. Why? Why would you watch news? Why? It just makes you feel bad. It just makes you feel bad.
Because we do a topical podcast, and it is our duty to inform our listeners what's going on in the world.
But you find out everything. I've heard about Ukraine. I've heard about fucking, what do you call it? Fox News getting sued by Dominion. I've heard a lot of stuff. You just sit around. But it's funny. I didn't hear one word about the Super Bowl after the Super Bowl happened.
I've disconnected a lot from the news. There's a few shows that I'll catch, but it's irregularly when I catch those. Like Real Time with Velour is like my weekly update when he's on, and he hasn't been on for a while, and he just came back. And then Colbert, like late night, we'll watch sometimes. And that,
Colbert's the greatest.
But I don't watch that all the time, you know.
Do you know what we kids do nowadays? We don't sit around like you old people. I get a lot of my news, like I get TikTok shorts from Colbert Show, and I get some of the reporters from like Colbert Show and The Daily Show. They go out and do news. That's how I get my news. I see it on TikTok, and it's hilarious.
I watch the national news every night and the local news, guys. Come on.
And do you feel better after it or worse?
I feel informed.
Informed about how bad everything is, period. All right, my news, I'm just going to say it really fast, and I just want to let you guys know. After we did the Tom Cruise one, and I forgot to talk about this last time, he like haunted me. Like, it was like, ugh, like I just felt like heavy. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to watch the things that Nathan recommended. And then I was just like, and then it felt worse. And then I was just like, the reason why I don't like Tom Cruise is he's a troubled, deeply troubled individual. And I guess I think that's why most people like him. I think that's why he appeals to the most amount of people, because you see like all the leaders and all the everything that's popular, people like that have always they go towards like religion and everything is the same troubled shit. It's someone who hates himself. Anyway, so that's all. Like, so I had to like just exercise it completely from my world, because it's like, oh my god.
Watch the movies and scenes that Nathan just.
Yeah, I did. I watched them. Yeah, and
so
it felt worse.
Which scenes were they? The
Mongolia.
So you watch the scene where he goes and visits his father.
And Tropic Thunder.
Oh, you didn't like his oh god, what's the character's name? Westman, something Westman, I think, where he's dancing is the fat suit on.
This is what I don't get. This is what I don't. It's the same people that are like, Madonna reinvented herself. She changed her wig and her hair and her clothes. Tom Cruise couldn't even change his physicality for that character. I was like, oh my god, he's still doing the same Tom Cruise shit. Hey, yeah. And I was like, I can't.
You weren't impressed by his dancing?
I can't take on his self-hatred. He hates himself so much.
See, I don't know where you're getting that. I don't understand.
Every movement, wait, let me explain. Every movement he makes is controlled and calculated. Everything that comes out of his mouth is controlled and calculated. He cannot let himself go to become a character. He just I feel so sorry. I felt sorry for him. That's what I felt. I was like, I wanted to call somebody to be like, go to Tom Cruise's house. And anyways, that's all. So it's just, that's one. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say that he haunted me as well, because like the next night I had a dream. He was like, I was hanging out with him in this dream. And he was like on a Mission Impossible mission, but it was also filming a film. And I just happened to be like there. That was about it.
All right. All right.
Anyway,
I still think he's a good actor for the most part. So whatever.
You do not. I'm going to pretend like you did not say that.
It's not news.
I would say
podcast about it.
Yeah, I would say that your assessment of him as an actor puts you in the minority.
Yeah,
I know, but also, yeah, it puts me in the minority that I didn't vote for Trump, and it puts me in the minority that I don't like.
Not true. That puts you in the majority.
Well, I mean,
vote for Trump.
In 2016, it didn't. It put me in the minority. Like
no,
that, just because something is popular doesn't make it good. I mean, religion.
He lost the popular vote, so you were still in the majority.
Yeah, Trump didn't win the popular vote.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the majority of the world likes Christianity or Judaism or Muslimism, but I don't like any of those either. Like, just because something's popular, that's what's so sad. Like, it's just so sad. Anyways, that's all.
I don't know. I think we just have to like be okay with not liking the same things, and like realizing that these kind of things are subjective, and some people are going to like it and some people aren't, and it just has to be okay. Right?
No, totally. But my point is that I just like, I don't know, like it's just having dealt with him and done a deep dive. It was just like, oh God, this guy, like he just, anyways, that's all. Forget it. It doesn't matter.
I guess I'm the only one who, when that podcast ended, I didn't think about him once.
Okay.
All right. Our gold star this week. We have a few contenders. Should I run through
And the
them?
nominees are
Ukraine for surviving 1 year of Russia's invasion.
Invadelment.
And I am on the record around this time last year saying that they should just give up because how are they going to stand up to Russia? And I know they've had a lot of help, but holy shit, a year? Wow. That's number one. The second one is to all the air traffic controllers who are doing such a great job with our planes on the runways. And I know we've had like 65 near crashes in the last 2 months, but nobody's actually crashed, right? So there's got to be something good there. No?
I guess so.
All right. Another contender, we thought that Rupert Murdoch, like what a stand-up guy, he came out and said that all of his journalists, quote unquote journalists and anchors that were knowingly saying all the false things about the election to push forward their political beliefs were bad.
He admitted it?
He condoned it. Yeah, today apparently.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How about while it was going on?
Oh, no. Zip. Mouth was
Wait.
tight.
Why is he saying that? Because he has a lawsuit by Dominion that are saying so he's basically going to pay them off then.
He's saying it because everything's come out in the public now. Before it was speculation that those guys all knew, Hannity, Ingram, Tucker, that they all knew that they were just spreading falsehoods.
Yeah.
But actually texts came out where they proved that they knew, so he had to.
I actually I'm like David, I haven't been watching the news, so I haven't been watching this unfold.
I guess I'll deliver all the news from now on.
But I'm actually surprised that happened.
He has to for his own reputation.
I guess so.
Well,
it surprises me.
Well, he doesn't really have to. I mean, deny. Like a lot, we've seen people do that, and they're supported by other people. So he didn't really have to. But that's great that he did do that. But he's gonna have to pay up a lot of money now to Dominion.
Probably. I hope so.
I would just be so happy if Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and Laura Ingraham got fired. I think that would be the best day of my life on this planet.
Ruin their lineup. That's their lineup.
Amazing. It would be amazing because they are the worst. The three of them are the worst people on television, like imaginable.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have one more nominee, and then we have to decide who's the winner. For Norfolk Southern, they're a really respectable rail company. If you haven't heard of them, they did a lot of hard work a couple years ago to lobby against these regulations, these really unfair regulations that were going to make them put new brakes on their toxic train loads. And they fought hard and they won. And good for them for putting all that hard work, right?
Sounds like you're being sarcastic.
I vote for them. If you fight and you win at something, I think you deserve a gold star.
What a winner.
Thank goodness nothing bad happened. Congratulations. We'll be shipping you a big pile of shit. I've been stocking up for the last 3 weeks since that plane crash or that derailment happened. You guys can all go suck it. All right. Okay. We're going to get into I think Nathan's going to start us off. He has a really quick run through of who Walt Disney is. Anybody that
who is Walt Disney? I've never heard of him.
Never heard of Walt Disney.
Who is this person? What has he done?
Okay. Walt Disney was an American entrepreneur, animator, and film producer born on December 5th, 1901.
That's the day after my mom's birthday.
Yeah, in Chicago.
Not
same year and everything.
He began his career as a commercial artist and then moved into animation, founding the Disney Brothers Studio with his brother Roy in 1923. He created a number of successful animated characters, including Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, and produced numerous classic animated films, including Snow White, Seven Dwarfs, Pinocchio, and Bambi. Disney's vision extended beyond animation, and he also pursued the creation of theme parks, beginning with Disneyland in Anaheim, California, which opened in 1955. He also produced several live-action films, including Mary Poppins and The Love Bug. Despite his success, okay, well, I'll just stop there.
Yes, quick bio.
Yeah, so his legacy is endured, and Walt Disney Company is now a global entertainment conglomerate encompassing film studios, television networks, theme parks.
They own everything. They own everything.
He passed away on December 15th, 1966, and his head is
He was young.
cryogenically frozen.
He was only 68?
Yeah.
How did he die?
No, 65. He was 65.
He died
I don't know how to do
of
math.
complications
Cancer.
from lung cancer.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, he was a
He's a
smoker.
big smoker.
I just saw that picture of him today when I was looking up images.
Everybody was. If you didn't smoke, you were a total homo back then.
So they said that he was cremated, but we all know that his head was cryogenically frozen after his death, right?
Where is it? Is it with the Golden Girls?
I hope so.
David got that one.
I don't.
I did. You got to sign up early for the bodies, Nathan, because if you wait, you don't get the young body.
The old bodies, yeah. The new cool thing is old bodies.
You gotta when you're getting frozen, Nathan, you gotta sign up and you gotta slip the guy at 20 or you get old body. If you want a young body, when you get reanimated.
Your head put back on a body, yeah.
What's this from?
From Golden Girls.
They talked about that?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right. So, I mean, from that bio, it seems like he had a really.
We just had to vote from that bio. We get nothing else except for that bio.
Let me just. This
He's
is like.
the shit.
I'll pass my judgment right now. He had a really successful career, created this empire. Wow, what a legacy!
Yeah, what a legacy.
Huh?
He has a legacy. All right, here's the deal. I did extensive research. I found. Because there's a lot of rumors about him. He was a Nazi sympathizer and a racist and all this stuff. We're gonna go through. We're gonna explore that. In the 30s, Walt Disney did attend some Nazi meetings in America for the Nazi Party.
That's not good.
But nobody knew what the Nazi Party was back then. They just thought it was
billed as.
Well, they just thought it was an antithesis to communism because they were fighting the communists. They were against the communists, and yeah, but they didn't call themselves fascists. They were just against the communists in Europe. So we can't really say anything about that. But and before I get to the big thing, early Walt Disney films such as The Three Little Pigs and others had problematic racial depictions, and I don't remember this because have you guys ever seen The Three Little Pigs?
The original?
Is it like a film, or was it just a cartoon, or was it a short?
It's a short, but it's like 15 minutes long or something like that, and the big bad wolf is like depicted like a Jewish peddler, like.
Guys, we cannot we cannot spend this podcast going back and picking apart like really old animated show stereotypes.
No, I'm leading up to something. I'm leading up to something.
Right.
Yeah, what's the bullet point?
So in 1938, he invited Leni Riefenstahl. And the date is actually very important. December 8th, 1938, he invited Leni Riefenstahl to come tour his studios in America. Do you guys know who Leni Riefenstahl is?
No.
Nope.
I'm Leni Riefenstahl. She was her official title was something like photojournalistic archivist, but she was also a filmmaker, and she was one of the main architects of Nazi propaganda for Adolf Hitler. She reported directly to Adolf Hitler. And you might say, well, David, nobody knew about the Nazi Party yet in 1938, but in November 9th and 10th of 1938, Kristallnacht happened. Do you guys know what Kristallnacht is?
No.
All right, Kristallnacht was it was reported worldwide. Everyone knew about it. Walt Disney knew about it. So the Nazi Party, along with Nazi youth, the Nazi SS, Hitler Youth, and other Nazi sympathizers all across Europe, all across Germany, they smashed and destroyed 7,000 Jewish businesses synagogues, homes. In Germany, all across Germany. 7,000 Jewish businesses were destroyed. 30,000 Jewish men were incarcerated in concentration camps, and 91 Jews were murdered. And they said it was because Herschel Greenspan, who was a German-born Polish Jew, was assassinated. He's a German. He assassinated a German diplomat in Paris. So, in response to that, they went around Germany and destroyed all these Jewish homes and everything. And that's when the concentration camps started. The world knew about that. And, Walt Disney still invited Leni Riefenstahl to come 1 month later. Anyways, that's all.
Yeah. Seems like bad timing.
That sounds bad. Yeah.
Bad? Bad. What? Yeah. But the thing is the bizarre thing about that is, and I'm going to jump to one of the good points he did in 1941, because people said he was a Nazi sympathizer and he was on Adolf Hitler's side and he wanted him to win. That's all we have on that. Like there's no other proof of that. And I dug deeper and I thought, once I saw this, I was like, oh Jesus, we got a Nazi. But in 1941 to 1945, he donated services and made hundreds and hundreds of American war propaganda films.
For us, on our side.
For Americans and the Allies. Yeah. So I wish I knew what that was all about, because that is something. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. It would be like someone right now inviting Putin's right-hand man to come visit them in America. That's what it'd be like.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to say. I just don't know. But
yeah,
I guess a counter argument would be that we try to have communication and good relationships even with our enemies, or we don't know how bad it is yet. It's like that's 2 years before we entered the war. So
did they have a love affair?
Good question.
It could have been a romantic thing.
I don't know, but people knew about the Kristallnacht thing. They knew about that. The world knew that happened at the time.
Yeah, I just wonder if they were hot and heavy for each other.
I don't know. Well, he had a wife, so with what category would that put him in?
Something that I read about is anti-Semitism, and I don't know. I didn't go into it very deeply, but one counterpoint was that it could be conflated in the sense that the organizations he was known to be a part of or contributing to or interested in were mainly conservative organizations as opposed to like Nazi organizations. And that was like a threat of it. I guess you could liken it to the Conservative Party now in the United States, where it's conservative, but also the Nazis are part of the Conservative Party, or would identify more with that than, but you can't call the Conservative Party all Nazis. I haven't dug into all of the evidence in this case. Yeah. But I also know that I did hear recently that there's someone who's writing this book. I wish I could remember the name of it, but it's about I think the kid was 17 years old. He was a Jewish kid who escaped one of the concentration camps, and his personal mission was to go and try to sound the alarm on all of the deaths that were happening in the concentration camps, because there was no understanding that people were just being slaughtered, led into ovens and stuff. Yeah. So his goal was to get the message out, because he kept on seeing these trains of people coming in and they looked fine. They weren't scared. So he's like, they don't know on the outside that they're being shipped into death. So his goal is to notify people. And when he escaped and he got out and he was able to talk to people, but there was resistance to people believing that. They just didn't think it was, one, it seemed so outlandish that would be happening, that 12,000 people were being killed a day. That's absurd. And two, it's like a lot of these governments, the US included, they were kind of anti-Jew at the point. There was a lot of anti-Semitism, just kind of across the board. So
yeah, we should do a deep dive on that, because there were reports that Roosevelt and Churchill, they knew what was going on in the concentration camps, but it wasn't being reported, and they didn't expose it till after the war. But anyway, which is weird. Like, you already hate. Anyways, I don't know. Anyway, so that was the biggest contention, that he was an anti-Semite. That's the only evidence that there is out there. There was other rumors and stuff, but no evidence. That was the only evidence there was about him being an anti-Semite. And I don't know that we can say that, because it just seems weird. It's, I don't know. I don't know.
I think he was banging that girl.
that's a good guess.
She was not what you would call a great beauty, but no, she just came and did that tour, and then she went back to Germany. But anyway,
but she came.
Oh, okay. And then the other big contention is he was a racist, because there were so many depictions, like in Dumbo, the crow. Did you ever see Dumbo with the crows?
I know, but I just feel like it's so hard to judge. It's just all that really old stuff. It was like a very, very different time, like to our standards now, which are just like, it's like night and day. Not to say that stuff was all okay. It didn't make things worse and stereotypes worse. It's just like, I don't know. I have a hard time with a lot of that stuff that's coming out now. There's like trigger warnings in front of like 90s like Disney movies now, Well,
there's a movie they did in 1941 called Song of the South that glorified slavery, but Disney will not let it be shown, and they have destroyed all copies of it for public consumption. So even they know that was bad.
Yeah.
So well, I brought that up because it swings back to one of the good things he did. Is he gave a man named Floyd Norman, a black animator in the 1950s, a job where they didn't get a lot of jobs. And I'm just going to read you quickly do you want me to read you what Floyd Norman said about the situation?
Yeah, that sounds great. Firsthand
assessment.
Sounds awesome.
He said, there were about half dozen of us came to work at Disney that same week. We came from different parts of the country. We were all from different backgrounds. We were Asian, we were Latino, we were black, and we were white. Nobody thought about that because that was not the issue at hand. Nobody thought of themselves as being a trailblazer for their race or their group. We were just a bunch of young kids looking for a job.
Well,
okay.
I hope that we can get back to that place at some point. Not that like we were ever there.
But that kind of mentality, like that's how
that group of people had that at that moment, and that's what I'm referring to. Like,
that's what
that was just their reality.
That's what I don't know if you guys remember. We talked about this Hidden Figures, the movie about the black women who got us on the moon, basically. And that was my biggest complaint about the movie, is that they said that out in the real world, they experienced a lot of racism, but at NASA, they didn't experience any racism. But the movie, of course, had to show that, which would have been a better message, is like, like there were people who were smart, there were scientists, and there were, like artists who didn't care, who were just involved in whatever. But on this point of the black animation, we're going to swing the other way. Are you guys ready to swing?
Yeah, I think I'm going to get nauseous.
No black.
Go ahead.
No black person was allowed to work at the parks. The first black person that was allowed to work at the park, well, there was only one park at the time, at Disneyland, was in 1970.
Wow.
And Disney himself died in 1966. Some say there is no proof. Some say it was his policy, and some say, but why would he hire animators? But also, unfortunately, at that time, you couldn't, like, I don't know if you thought that, I don't know, whatever. But anyways,
I also wonder, and it may sound like an apologist for this, but what were the views of the park goers, the patrons who were buying tickets? Like what percentage of them were racist and would like?
They were white.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like,
So
and I'm
they're
not
like
saying
pandering to their audience, basically.
right, and I'm not saying that they should have or they should have done something different. I'm just wondering,
All right, so he wasn't a civil
angle.
rights trailblazer. Is kind of what
Sounds like it.
we're getting at.
There's a great video on YouTube that I watched that some family took in the 1950s. There's no sound, but it's just a bunch of white people, and then the only non-white people are these American natives, but they're called Indians in the thing, of course. And they're definitely American natives, and they're putting on a show. And they look pretty. They don't look like a Disney version of American natives. They look like they're dressed up in Native American costumes. But anyway, so it's interesting to see, and it is. The park is full of white people, and that's all, which would be standard for the time, unfortunately.
When I was in maybe 5th grade or so, I was an Indian for Halloween. Should I be canceled?
Probably.
Wait, which kind of Indian? This kind or this kind?
I quoted, quote unquote.
You're no, I mean, I don't know. I do want to point out that Hooligan Mama just showed up and she said, "Hello, friend. Sorry I'm late." Yeah, you're gonna get detention, Hooligan Mama. So just shh.
Oh well.
All right. I have 2 more things or 3 more things, and then I'm gonna hand it over to what's his name, the other guy. I don't know his name.
Sure.
I have a rejection letter dated June 7th, 1938 to a Miss Mary Ford who applied to be an animator. Do you guys want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay, this is what it says. It says, women do not do any of the creative work in connection with preparing the cartoons for the screen, as that work is performed entirely by young men. For this reason, girls are not considered for the training school. The only work open to women consists of training the characters to clear celluloid sheets with India ink and filling in the tracings on the reverse side with point according to the directions. And that's what it says. So I didn't say anything weird. And then it goes on to say, it would not be advisable for you to come to Hollywood with the above specifically in view, as there are really very few openings in comparison with the number of girls who apply. And that was straight from his office, but it was signed by a person named Mary Clean, by another woman. So
Again, he wasn't a trailblazer. But like I don't know. I mean, in that time, like women weren't getting hired to do a lot of stuff that men were. So
it's true.
What it was. It doesn't. I guess it doesn't prove that Walt Disney is a piece of shit.
And at the time, up until the 70s, it was legal to use gender as a reason to not hire someone too. So
yeah.
Okay,
It's so recent. It's just so recent.
It is.
It's
very
so recent. And one of the reasons that women were able to go into the workforce is the creation of birth control. Birth control and the tampons.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, you guys weren't around before tampons, but there was just like bloody trails everywhere you'd go before tampons. And you were just like, oh, a woman was here.
Yeah, we'd have to just go sit in a tent, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And the woods
for like days and days and days.
Yeah.
And drop your head in shame.
And she wanted to be an animator?
Okay, this is
great leading up into International Women's Month. What is it called? Women's History Month?
I don't know, celebrating Ladies Month?
Woman Month.
Sister Month, Scissoring Month. Okay, this is what gets me for like this would be my biggest bid for piece of shit. Are you guys ready?
Sure.
He testified before the House Un-American Activities Committee. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
Yeah.
It's Senator McCarthy. It was the communist witch hunts. It was Senator McCarthy's communist witch hunts, which turned up no valid communist activity. And even if it did, that's so stupid. But he testified, Walt Disney testified with no evidence whatsoever, saying that communists were trying to take over Hollywood and that SAG was a communist front.
Oh, no.
And then he went on to say that in 1941, he contacted the FBI because his animators are striking because they had bad working conditions and low pay. And so he called the FBI saying that this was a communistic plot. And then later on when he testified, he said that, yeah, communists tried to take down my studio by getting the workers to strike.
I guess no wonder he was sympathizing with the Nazis early on, because he sounds like he really hates communists.
Yeah, well, a lot of people hated communists and they were freaked out, but it's just so doesn't it sound so Trumpy, like the Trumpers, like, yeah, it's a communist plot.
Yeah, I think so. He was. Are you going to talk about union busting in general, or just like workers' conditions? Because I feel like that's just him pushing those things together as an excuse. Like, I don't want to pay my employees more. I don't want to pay, the union, the SAG union, Screen Actors Guild. Like, that's a communist plot. Like. Well, they're taking money away from me.
I mean, a lot of employers don't like their unions.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, most don't.
Make less profit.
Yes, so.
Yeah, but you have to understand at that time too. I forget their names now. That 2 people were shot for being communist sympathizers. So like it was a thing. Like it was a witch hunt, which didn't have anything to do with House Un-American Activities Committee. It had to do with them anyway. So like there was communist craze. People were flipping the fuck out.
Yeah.
So that's all I found bad. And I guess I gave you all my good points too. There really wasn't anything that bad. So go ahead, Nathan. What did you find?
So you said you went over your good points as well?
Actually, yeah, they swung because the pendulum swung.
I guess we don't really need to go over like how successful he's been.
Yeah.
I think
no, that doesn't have anything to do. Oh, I did have one more good point. Should I give it now?
Sure, yeah.
That he gave his housekeeper stock every year for Christmas, and when she died, she was worth $9 million.
Wow.
In 1992, though, in 1992, so that wasn't. I mean, it was good. It was good, but it wasn't like in the 30s. If you had $9 million, you were like ha cha cha.
If I had $9 million now,
yeah, it would be good. It's not a bad thing.
No, that's a lot of money.
You could buy like 2 houses in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Like modest houses.
In crappy areas. But yeah, you could.
All right, so
yeah.
Okay, so the bad stuff that, like, I'll just cover bullet point real quick. Like, there's the anti-Semitism thing. There's union busting stuff. There's the claims of lack. There's obvious lack of diversity in his films. There's the appropriation of other cultures in his films. That's something that people have obviously complained about a lot. And then there's treatment of employees, which we kind of just covered. Mistreatment of workers, including long hours, low pay, and a hostile work environment. So I'll just give bullet points for like good stuff. Innovation in animation, creation of beloved characters, the theme parks, philanthropy, has donated millions of dollars to charity over the years.
Wait. Yeah, and I couldn't find. Okay, that's one thing I was going to talk about. I couldn't find that happening when he was alive. The bulk of that happened after he died. So did you find any evidence of the philanthropy happening before he died?
This is Walt Disney Company. And I feel like there's it doesn't surprise me that I feel like there's, in Hollywood, especially starting in probably 70s, 80s, that it became a really good thing to show that you donate, whether it's the organizations or individuals. It's like, and this is my, charity that I support, it's just like such a good PR thing. Oh, and then that's the fact that he inspired generations of people to pursue their passions. So now I want to offer just real quick counter arguments to the negative stuff.
Okay.
All right. So the accusations of anti-Semitism, several authors and scholars have accused him of that, pointing to evidence such as, we covered there. Wait. Oh, those are controversies. Hold on. Where are my counter arguments? Oh, okay. Okay. So even though that stuff, it's true that he was a member of some conservative anti-Semitic view holding organizations, there's no direct evidence that Disney himself held anti-Semitic views. Yeah, some argue that his was more about conservative views rather than anti-Semitic views. Now the union busting stuff, well, he's just really protecting his business interests, right?
I mean, in theory.
Yeah.
And well, if they're arguing for better wages and better work hours, and he doesn't give it to them, and then they resort to unionism, that kind of leans towards piece of shit a little bit.
Well, in his autobiography, he expressed his belief that unions would hinder creativity and innovation. And many of his employees reportedly felt that the company treated them fairly. That's him reporting that.
I mean, I'm sure that's just, there's a wide spectrum, like any company, of people feeling like you're a bad company.
Well, that's the thing too. I want to say about this is I don't have any evidence to back it up, but there's a lot of people saying that he would scream in the workplace and have fits and freak out. But then there was a lot of people saying that he was wonderful. So it's weird. Like, I just think he was just, I don't know. There was no evidence and there was no like perfect incidents given, but there was reports on both sides of him just being a lunatic and him being good. So I don't even know.
It's most likely that he was both. I mean, you're running this huge organization. Like, I'm sure he freaked out. I mean, you can think of anyone who does that. I'm sure it goes through a whole bunch of crap. So the lack of diversity stuff with his projects, like, they were predominantly white and middle class featured projects that he did. And then it just says that, I think that was like product of the times a lot. And then it goes on to say that Disney, the company afterwards, has really made strides to counteract that narrative.
They're pretty woke now, aren't they? They're fighting back against DeSantis in Florida, and
they've been really
all that stuff.
Given that history, they've really kind of turned that around.
And the Little Mermaid is not white anymore. Come on, guys.
So she's so cute, Halle Bailey, so cute.
Appropriation of other cultures, that was something. So depictions of non-Western cultures that in the past were criticized for perpetuating stereotypes. And the argument is that the intention was to introduce audiences to cultures that were largely unknown at the time. So it was kind of like the Dances with Wolves kind of story. That's like the argument. But then again, Disney, the company, has made huge advances, counter to that narrative now. And then treatment for employees. And again, I think it's just like now they have a lot of great things for, employees. There's like a $15 minimum wage. But again, that's the company now. So he was definitely of a certain time. So those counter arguments aren't necessarily about him so much.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, that's all I really have.
Well, it seems like I think there's enough to cast our judgments. Piece of shit or the shit. Do you all want to vote?
Yeah,
sure.
I'm ready if you're ready. And audience, if you're listening, you can vote too. We had one, Hooligan Mama usually comments a lot more, and I guess she's mad because she has a demerit against her. She's going to be sent to the principal because she was late. But we do want to hear from you, audience, listeners. What do you think? But go ahead, you guys.
I think this is a tough one. He doesn't seem as controversial as like Elon Musk was, because there's so many things that pointed to him just being a shitty human. Just like,
he also lives in the era now where it's just all out there.
And that's, I was gonna bring that up too. Like, this all happened so long ago, and it seems like we just don't quite know. We really, really don't know who he was. Truly, we have all these little things, and I don't think anything's pointed me in the direction of he's a total piece of shit. If anything, his accomplishments would override some of the controversies that might not even be controversy. And I'm like, I don't necessarily fault him for those issues that were of the time. I know a lot of people would argue that there were woke people back then that would have done things differently, but most people weren't. And there was an audience to serve that wanted a specific thing. And like we're talking about the theme park audience, like right or wrong. I don't know. So I don't think I can call him a piece of shit. I'm gonna have to lean in the shit direction. The shit being good.
Yeah.
The shit direction sounded like a negative thing.
The shit.
But I'm not excited about him. I feel like I was really behind Oprah when we proclaimed her
You
the shit.
were.
It was just yeah, she is obviously the shit. And I felt pretty good about Elon Musk being a piece of shit. Walt Disney, I'm like, yeah, I mean, guess. For lack of information, I guess he's the shit.
I will say, and I hate to say this to Nathan. Nathan's going to get upset, but
Sure.
I don't even think Walt Disney had as much evidence of being a piece of shit as Tom Cruise did. The not seeing his daughter for the last 10 years. I don't even think because I thought I would dive in and be like, all right, we're going to find out these things about Walt Disney once and for all, because there's always been those claims of anti-Semitism and everything. But there's no evidence. Yeah, there's no evidence at all. And people would have said or would have come forward because they commented on, there's so many comments on so many things that people would have come forward with that.
Yeah. I want to distinguish my casting judgment on Walt Disney, the person, as compared to the Walt Disney Company. Because I think Disney's kind of stupid now. So if we were casting judgment on Disney, I would probably call them a piece of shit.
Wait, why? What have they done that's a piece of shit? You just said they got better, and now you're saying they're a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, with diversity and things that are, values of the modern time. Yes, they have, for sure. But they've also harbored all of the Marvel movies and allowed them to go on in excess.
This sounds like a very personal affront.
And I will argue the same
my God.
as well. So.
Oh my God, I didn't know that Aaron was a racist because the latest Marvel movie that came out was Wakanda Forever. So I didn't know you were totally against that.
Yeah, actually, the latest one was Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Quantumania. Come on, David.
They're white people. Okay, then that's fine, Aaron. She's not a racist.
Every other day, so.
That's true.
It does come out every other day. And it's the same exact story in every single Marvel movie.
Yeah. So I'll go next, and just to put a pin into the anti-Semitism stuff, what I did find was that it is true that Walt Disney was a member of the Motion Picture Alliance for the Preservation of American Ideals, which was known for its conservative and anti-Semitic views. And then it goes on to say that there's no direct evidence that he himself held anti-Semitic views.
Yeah, he had Jewish animators and stuff. There were Jewish animators, and anyways, whatever.
I did see that there were accusations that there was. He allegedly was reluctant to hire Jewish animators. Allegedly.
Yeah, I saw that, but yeah, there was never.
After I cast my judgment, now.
I mean, but this is allegedly. It's they can say for sure there was no case that went to court and was decided.
We need the evidence, guys.
Yeah. There was no evidence, and I couldn't even find one Jewish animator that came forward and said, yeah, he wouldn't hire me because there wasn't even a letter. We had this woman's letter of being rejected, they told her don't come to Hollywood.
So stay in your tent.
Yeah, stay in your tent. I'm gonna vote that he's the shit, because what he created led to The Little Mermaid.
And Halle Bailey is adorable.
Well, that's great, but I'm talking about the animated late 1980s.
You're so racist.
Well, that was the film that touched my heart.
Why? Because a woman had to give her up her voice to fall for a man that she fell in love with that she never even met. Is that why?
It was Beauty and the Beast.
No,
I just absolutely loved.
Okay, yours was Beauty and the Beast. Mine was
which one? The cartoon? Wait,
yeah.
What? All right. Oh, you know what? You guys kind of swayed me with all this talk. Are you done yet? Is it my turn?
No, I was just gonna say that I love that movie so much that I audio recorded it the entire film. I like hit record on a tape, an audio tape, and recorded the entire film and listened to it on my Walkman.
That's so funny.
I know. I was 8 years
Wow.
old or 10 years old.
All right, David.
All right. I think I do not have enough evidence to call him a piece of shit. I don't. I think that he was kind of a dick. I think that he had the potential to be a piece of shit with his House Un-American Activities bullshit. Because that's straight up Trumpy shit. Like, I don't know if you guys know anything about it, but anyone who was for the House Un-American Committees, straight up Trumpers. Like, they would be Trumpers today. They're the Mitch McConnells and so I think he had the potential to be a total piece of shit. But I also think that he did care about other people. Do you guys know who Haley Mills is?
Yeah,
Did you ever see the original Parent Trap? The greatest movie ever made. The original Parent Trap. She said, I mean, she was one of his stars, so what is he going to do? But she said he was just wonderful. He was Uncle Walt to her. And also Kim Richards, you know who she is?
No.
Well, she was in the original Escape to Witch Mountain movie. And then she did a whole bunch of the Wonderful World of Disney. And she also said the same thing that actually she didn't meet him. He was dead. But she said, well, I guess that doesn't count. She said that Disney was wonderful to her. So forget it. Doesn't matter. Okay. But Haley Mills said that he was wonderful. And Kurt Russell loved Walt Disney. And then he became a star. Well, he became a Disney star after that. But my favorite Disney movie, can you guys guess? It came out when I was 15.
Mary Poppins.
Also, no, I'm not a homosexual. Stop it, Nathan. Hooligan Mama says, I love Haley Mills. Yeah, because Haley Mills is the shit, Aunt Josie, right? And I love Escape to Witch Mountain, too. Escape to Witch Mountain is the second greatest movie ever made.
I didn't even know that was a film.
Escape to Witch Mountain?
They just remade it.
Did they?
The Rock.
No, they didn't.
They did.
Yeah, like 10 years ago. It was like 10 years ago.
Like
but
5 years ago.
No, it was a good 10 years ago. I swear. Look it up while I'm talking.
I'll look it up.
Wait, you guys don't know. It came out when I was 15. My favorite cartoon Disney movie
Bambi.
gave us the greatest female character of all time.
101 Dalmatians.
Close. That was not a great movie, though, unfortunately. No, Sleeping Beauty, which gave us Maleficent. What?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Sleeping Beauty was the greatest character of all time.
Sleeping Beauty was beautiful, but no, Maleficent, just the greatest. And that her voice and everything, her headdress and all that shit. So I'm kind of thinking, like, because he did give me things I love. Well, Disneyland is insufferable now. I don't know if you guys have been, but I went a couple of years ago, and it's just unbearable to be in Disneyland now because you can't move, and it takes 2 hours
we were talking
for
about
every ride.
Velour is never going to get to go because we hate Disneyland.
So wow!
Did Race to Witch Mountain.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
And that
it was a little different. Look at Hooligan Mama says my favorite is Sleeping Beauty too. We have the same. We're twins. Me and Aunt Josie are like total twins. I was young and I fell in love with the artwork. The artwork, that's my favorite era of Disney movies too. Like I'm not a huge fan of like Little Mermaid and stuff. Like the artwork just looks cheap to me. But like Sleeping Beauty looks amazing. The artist Avend Earl. Look him up.
No, I know what you mean.
Cool.
Like Sleeping Beauty, those old Disney films, they kind of like they almost like feel like they're floating or like there's like this magic flowing to the lines almost. It's really
it's beautiful.
I mean, I guess that's by hand, like the whatever they were doing by hand. I mean,
right.
Well, okay. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's 10 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock. We've gone our hour. We got to wrap it up. I think we voted.
We did vote.
So I guess because I didn't do my vote yet. I guess because Sleeping Beauty, and I love that, and I do love some things that he gave us. Haley Mills and Parent Trap. I guess I would say that he's the shit for bringing us that shit because he was responsible for those. He was actually alive at the time. He didn't bring the shit that you guys like, so I don't know why you said he was the shit. He was already dead.
Can I, before you wrap us up, Aaron, can I take 1 minute? And I need a promise from all of you that what I'm going to request of us is only going to take 1 minute, and that's it.
You
cannot.
I'm gonna give you 45 seconds.
Okay. Our series of the shit and piece of shit has not been our most popular series. So in case we don't do any more, one of the most popular requests was Kanye. So I think we should just do a quick, is he a piece of shit or the shit on Kanye, and then we can move on.
Right now?
No,
Right now.
He's the shit. No,
Kanye?
I'm just kidding.
Whoa! Controversial.
Guys, that's not even.
We have about 10 seconds. Everyone has to throw their vote in.
I think he has mental problems. I think he has like some kind of spectrum-y undiagnosed thing because he says some of the stupidest shit in the whole entire world. White, you'd have to be like out of your fucking mind.
You could still have mental problems and be a piece of shit.
Ooh.
So, all right, I think he's a piece of shit, and I don't give a shit. Like, that one song is okay, but his music is not that great. People are so stupid.
All right, piece of shit. Moving on. Okay, anyway.
He's a piece of shit. Hooligan Mama says he should be on medication. And Hooligan Mama, do you want us to do more piece of shit, or no? Do you want us to abandon it? Anyways, that was great. Anything else you guys want to say? Say your sign out, Aaron.
All right, Walt Disney, you are the shit.
Oh, he is the shit. Did we vote him the shit?
Yeah.
I forgot already.
All right, everyone. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks. Thanks for joining.
All right. Okay, thanks, listeners. Beat it, bitch.
The Unimaginary Friendcast.
What just happened?